Hey, what's up with you guys? So today, instead of talking like specifically Uniswap, I wanted to give you a little thought about the entire ecosystem of DeFi and see where it is. So we got just right back to $1 billion total value locked in DeFi. I'm here in DeFi Pulse. This is again measuring USD. By the way, this doesn't even include a few things. For example, this still doesn't yet include the transition between Uniswap V1 and V2. And specifically, I wanted to see the impact on two projects that I know probably I went deeper on them. So Uniswap and Compound. I mean, meanwhile, a few others are very notable in my view. Aave, for example, that Bitcoin also, Synthetics. But I think Compound and Uniswap, that's where I want to focus on. And I want to focus on their growth. So first starting with Uniswap, I'm still looking at USD. Maybe it would be even better to look into Ethereum. But you see here almost like pretty steady growth and then this sort of big dance like declining. This is not because people withdraw the liquidity, it's just withdraw from V1 and add it to V2. So this is not yet reflected in DeFi Pulse, but if we go on the Uniswap info website, we see that basically the liquidity is $56 million. So over there on DeFi Pulse it would be $33 million. So all the difference of V2 is still not yet reflected. And so basically, in Ether, that would be pretty much around here. So pretty much constant growth. Uniswap has been growing really well. It's sort of a parabolic or sort of, sort of exponential growth because of the also pretty powerful network effect over there. You compare that with, for example, Compound. And Compound, I mean, the growth over there hasn't been that great. It's actually been pretty steady, sort of plateau. Even a little bit declining. I think the reason is, there was, I think, a surge into the margin trading coming back to the end of the year, and then there was a drop in price. A lot of people got liquidated. Maybe people got caught into longs, and so I think whatever. Like there, the growth hasn't been that great in terms of usership. I think I mentioned this in the past. So I'm. Back a year ago, when I started creating the calculator for Uniswap, I also created a calculator for Compound. I made two videos that are on YouTube that are very well indexed on both, one on Uniswap, one on Compound. They dated back to July last year, and I used them really to see, it's more of a heuristic for me to see the growth of the protocol. It's a different metric, tells me how many views, how many searches, and so you see here for Compound, that's like the total impression, total reach on YouTube for that video dated back on, I think it was July last year. So pretty flat, linear growth, right? Constant, even like plateauing a little bit. Now you compare that to Uniswap and you see the opposite, right? You see pretty much a parabolic increase, and I actually, from my data, both on the this sort of YouTube channel as well as the uniswapri.com. If you guys don't use it yet, but you want to know more about Uniswap, by the way, check it out, uniswapri.com, and it helps you manage and track your liquidity. But from the data I have, I think Uniswap from a user perspective is almost doubling every, I would say, 4 to 5 months. So the growth has been really good over there. And so what I want to say, I think, is this is really like a good time for DeFi, but also a good time for DEXs. I mean, decentralized exchanges, I think they will be huge. Uniswap is very well positioned there. Like if you basically look at the ranking of all the decentralized apps, that's the only one that is in there, right? And by the way, it's not even at 0.7, but it would be with the right number more at position 4 to 5. And especially like in this time where with all these modern monetary policies where governments are printing out money as there is no tomorrow, as a basically fix for all the crisis in the economy, having an entire basically separate financial ecosystem that is forming with all the primitives and all the opportunities of from lending to exchanges, I think it will come very handy. Now, I think both stablecoins will come handy most in the transition, but also just Ethereum. I think this will be a great time for Ethereum going forward. We'll see what happens, but definitely very excited. If you guys are using Uniswap, want to know more about Uniswap, again, like there is a website that I made called uniswapri.com. Many of you are already using it. If you're done, you can check it out. You can get started. It's very fast. And then from here, you're gonna be able to track your investment, manage your liquidity, and also find what pools you're able to get the better return on your investment. And this is still like on the pool ranking on Uniswap V1, but Uniswap V2 is also coming. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you want to know more about DeFi, specifically Uniswap and Compound. And let me know what you think. You find in the two of my contacts, my Twitter handle, as well as the direct Telegram link. And until next time, have a great one, guys. Talk soon.